Bars, bowling alleys, beaches, arcades. There's a builder that's building homes with these things around them. Yeah, and it's kind of a big deal. Actually, it's kind of a mega deal. Stupid, I'm sorry. Today, we're going to talk about Megatel Homes here in DFW, what's going on with them, what you need to know if you're considering building with them, good, bad, everything in between. So let's get into it. Megatel Homes, here we go. Megatel was founded here in DFW in 2006 by a pair of brothers, and they have quickly exploded throughout the market in DFW. They've built in several different communities, been part of several major projects, have some really unique and interesting things coming up going forward. They've kind of shifted their focus, I think, into some new directions. Not saying it's good or bad, just want to tell you it's a thing. So they have been, kind of a mainstay here in the Dallas market really since they started, been in that bigger kind of luxurious style home. And I think you would always, my personal opinion is, as I've walked through their homes previously, had clients buy with them, had friends buy with them, one of the things I've always noticed is they've kind of got like they're known for like those high pitched front facing facades and really kind of immaculate woodwork kitchen cabinetry. Those were always the things that stood out to me when I walked through their homes and said, oh, hey, yeah, that's definitely a Megatel home, because again, it's got that high front facade, front kind of elevated roof pitch. And then you walk into the kitchen and you see the cabinetry and you're like, yep, this is a Megatel home. So let's keep talking kind of about what's going on with them and where they're going here in DFW. In terms of size, I think they're probably, like, I'd call them, they are not a multi-state. I mean, they're here, they're in San Antonio, they're in Houston, they're in Oklahoma City, but they're not nationwide. So they're not, building thousands and thousands of homes every year. They're probably in that hundreds of homes range. Price point for them, we'll go to their website here in a minute and look, but it's going to be probably in that mid 3 range, mid to low 3 to high 800 or 900 range, depending on where you're looking at for where they're building. So let's do this. Let's jump over to their website. I'm going to make myself get tiny in the corner, and we'll go over and check out their website and keep going from there. Okay, as we get to their website, you'll see kind of this scrolling thing that's running. The big thing that Megatel is moving into right now is their lagoon communities. I think they're putting a lot of effort into these communities. We'll get to those in a second. Right now, I want to talk through a couple other avenues kind of on their website where they're building. And like I said, we talked a little bit about price point, but I want to show you, and then we'll go to the lagoon communities. Okay, if we're looking at quick move-in homes, I can't tell you a number because they don't show a number on their website. Honestly, it's a little clunky. It's based on city. So if you're like, hey, I want to be in this city and I can look at this home, you can do that. But there's not really an easy way to kind of sort and say, hey, here's everything in this price point or location. So again, for example, if we're looking at Allen, we've got this one right here in the middle. It's a 3-bed, 2.5 bath, 2-story, 1,975 square feet at $469. Again, not good, bad, anything. Just putting that out there. Let's click on it and see with other details we can see about this home. Website, not super great, because here's the other thing that I like personally that bothers me on their website. So if I go up here and I go to Dallas Fort Worth and I start wanting to click on communities, let me move me out of the way. So you start clicking on communities, and what they've done is they've left every single community that they've built recently on their website. You're like, oh, I really want to live in Saxe. I'm looking there. Let's go check out Alanis Crossing. So we click on it, and then it says, welcome. This is great. Call for pricing. Okay, that probably means there's nothing left. So then, we're going to skip this one because it's a lagoon. We're coming back to it. Oh, I want to live in Anna. Call for pricing. So when I did this earlier, I think I had to click through 4 or 5 of the top communities before I actually got to one and I think it was this one, before I actually got to a community that had homes listed on their website. Oh, nope, wrong. Not Barcelona. Proving my point. So this is just not super consumer friendly in terms of like, oh yeah, I understand you're trying to show me everywhere that you've ever built homes. But if I'm looking from the standpoint of, hey, I actually want to see what you have available now, not super great. In terms of design center feel, overall, I wish I could tell you more details from their website. They just don't provide a lot. And again, I don't know if that's good, that's bad. I don't know what to say about that. It just kind of is. So let's get into like probably why you're here. Is what we started with is the lagoon communities. They are jumping hard and heavy into this. I think this is actually probably their shift, more so kind of going into the next decade, I guess. Less of being in these other communities, and I would guess probably really focusing in on doing these lagoon communities. If you've been around DFW and you've specifically been on the north side, you've probably heard of Windsong Ranch and Prosper. That was the first one of these communities, and that is not a Megatel community. That's I think that's a Wynn Jackson like major development kind of thing. You know, it was one of the first communities that had this like beachfront entry, pools, playgrounds, like everything you could want from your HOA and then some happened in Windsong Ranch. And now other builders are trying to take that and expand it and make it their own, specifically Megatel, with what they're doing with these lagoon communities. So, you know, luxury lagoon living, you know, it's all these features. I'm going to click on one. We're actually going to do the one in Forney. We'll start there. And I just want you to see kind of what projected plan is and how this is going. So, you know, we've got the waterfront, we've got water park going on, we've got beaches. Welcome to Bellagio. Community details. This is what we want. Amenities: fitness center, yoga studio, restaurants and bars, concierge service, adult lounge, arcade, bowling alley, indoor playground, party rooms. Outdoors: surf simulators, splash park, playground, swim up bar, cabana, soundstage, patio dining, sand beaches, paddleboarding, kayaking. Oh my gosh, there's a ton going into this community. I've actually driven out to where this was going to be. It is out in Forney, like right on the backside of Forney High School. I don't know how much water that's going to take to make a lagoon, but I guess they're going to make it work. They're pre-selling it now. Again, you can kind of see the plans that are in the works of what's happening. I'm just going to be honest. I am super interested to see how this all plays out. Because on the one hand, location that they've chosen in Forney is not super great in terms of infrastructure. The roads need to be widened. There's enough traffic over there as it is. So we're kind of getting into that space where it's like you're going to add all of these homes plus this massive amenity center. I don't know how it's going to work logistically, but hey, I guess there are people smarter than me that know what they're doing. B, I would say what we don't know is those HOA dues are probably going to be expensive. And again, this kind of goes back to the customer service side of builders and how I wish things function. So before I started this video, I actually called the number on their website just to get some information. And it was very much like well, we can't give you a whole lot of information. You need to schedule an appointment to come out to our communities. I'm like, well, I understand that, but what can you tell me online? Well, there's not a lot we can tell you. We really needed you to come out into the community. And I'm like, I understand you want to get me in the door. You want to, you know, put eyeball to eyeball and have a conversation, but let's make it helpful on the front end to get into those conversations to understand, hey, what we're getting into. I plan on getting out to these lagoon communities, providing more video content around this. So if you are looking at something like this, you can make an informed decision. I'm just telling you, I would guess this is going to be an expensive HOA. It's probably going to have a mud, going to have a PID. So that is something to consider. But they are going all in on these type of communities, talking, you know, almost billion, I would guess billions of dollars in developing something like this. The other thing that's interesting, so again, we've got the one in Forney, we've got one in McKinney, we've got one in Anna, we've got one in Princeton, they're doing one in Dallas, and then they're doing this one. And I'm just going to be candidly honest with you. To me, this location makes 0 sense. So if you are from the DFW area, this is like 175 and in Sigaville. There's like nothing out there yet. I mean, you've got Sigaville and then you've got Crandall, Kaufman, all that. But in terms of like development, this just like, I don't know that the type of person that wants to live in the lagoon community is going to want to live off 175 in Sigaville / Crandall area. It doesn't, again, smart. There are people probably way smarter than me. Just kind of my opinion on this. But again, so, you know, same floor plans, you know, several 2-story options, couple of 1-story options. They are, to my knowledge, they are selling these communities now. These are going to be a long build. So you are probably looking at depending on when you're watching this video, end of 23, first part of 24 to get into one of these homes. Again, same kind of details, yoga studio, arcade, bumper cars. really bumper cars, bowling alley, rock climbing, indoor playgrounds, party rooms. I don't know what the HOA is because they wouldn't tell me on the phone. And this is not developed yet, or not, they don't have it in yet. I think the one that is closest to actually having their lagoon in is the one in Anna. So we're planning on definitely getting up there, checking that out. So a ton going into this from the Megatel side. And I don't know if it's going to be good. I don't know what to tell you. I would say at one point I thought Megatel's quality was phenomenal. But you kind of read some things and you start to hear rumblings and you start to wonder. As I've looked online, as with every builder, you get a mixed bag of reviews, right? You get, hey, they were great and they were awesome, or you get, this was freaking terrible and I would never build with them again and it's the worst experience in the world. You get that almost all the time. So you got to take reviews with just a little bit of grain of salt. But it seems like there's some weird stuff going on. So talking to some of my friends that are involved in those building spaces, and a couple different city council people with projects trying to come in and out, I think they might have some weird things going on behind the scenes. They seem to have some high turnover in their sales offices, which is true of a lot of different builders, those sales reps. It's just a highly volatile business. There's an expectation to produce and produce at a high level. And, so in a lot of different builders, to be honest, you get some high volatility of in and out. But reading through some things on Glassdoor in terms of reviews from their salespeople, reading through Better Business Bureau of what some things that are going on, I would just ask a lot of questions is what I would say. Not saying that you should definitely avoid Megatel, not saying that you should definitely run and build with Megatel. I'm just saying make sure you ask a ton of questions before you move forward and understand that. Especially if you're trying to build in one of those lagoon communities, I would say probably you have a better chance on something not in a lagoon that's quick move in. If you want to go that route, yes, let's 100% do that. If you want to go the lagoon route, we need to ask a ton of questions like when timelines, how are they guaranteeing, what are they doing for rate locks? Because what I don't want you doing is getting in on a contract that's going to be done in 18 months. Yeah, 18 months later. At one point, you would click on their website and they were offering hey, we'll pay your rent, so they've got all these different promotions. And again, those change based on time of year, what's going on. But at one point I do remember seeing on their website, like, hey, if you buy in one of our lagoon communities, hey, if you're renting, we'll pay your rent for a year, which I think is great. There's, we got to read the fine print. So yeah, all that to be said, you want to build with Megatel, please ask lots of questions. Please do your homework, do your research. Don't do it without a realtor. If you need somebody to represent you and help you in that process, I'm here for you. I want to put my contact information. It'll just pop up right there. Call, text, email. I'm happy to help you if you're, thinking about one of these communities or thinking about something else here in DFW. But I can't help if you don't call, or you don't reach out, or you don't email. There's no way for me to help you if you don't. So I, again, appreciate your time. Do that. Do your research. I'm going to get out and we're going to look at all these communities and kind of talk about them in depth and see what happens. Because truthfully, I hope I'm wrong. And I hope they turn out great, and I hope it all goes wonderful. But I'm kind of a skeptic, and I hope I'm wrong. And maybe I'm just a realist. I don't know. Hey, but if you want to browse other new construction homes that have some great incentives, there's a link down in the description of this video. You can do that. Or of course, if you need to book some time for us to jump on and talk face to face, we can make that happen as well. I appreciate your time. If you know somebody that built a Megatel home or you're in the process of building Megatel, let's talk about it down in the comments. Would love to hear about your experiences, good, bad, anything in between, what we should know, what we should avoid. If you've got other builder questions, comments down below. We want to cover those. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. I appreciate how we've grown this channel. If you found this helpful, thumbs up goes a long way. And I will leave it at that. We will see you in our next video. Bye for now.